a little while ago someone was telling me that their friends basically see them as a free therapist. And this is not the same as reaching out for someone for support now and then. The difference here is that people like this will reach out practically all the time. So they constantly be looking for guidance and reassurance and support. And naturally, to have friends like this, it can be incredibly draining. Because although it's good to help our friends, if they're constantly on our case all the time, then it can cause us to neglect our own needs and to experience a bit of resentment. Because while we might want to be there from time to time, if this person is practically always there, day after day, constantly revealing their problems and pretty much not doing anything about them, but just talking about the dramas in their life, then this is gonna wash anyone out. And when I heard this person talk about this, it made me think about how important boundaries are. Because while someone can constantly unload and talk about their problems, it is up to us as the individual to draw the line. We have to say, I can't be here for you now. Or this is getting too much. We might have to tell this person to reach out for professional assistance. Because if we are there for someone so much and we can naturally neglect our own life, and instead of coming from a place of strength, we can end up coming from a place of weakness. So they've got their problems, and then we can end up with a problem ourselves because we're not taking care of ourselves. We are not engaging in the right self-care. So a big part of dealing with people who are constantly unloading, and they've basically got no interest in solving their issues, they just want to unload and vent all the time. And people like this can often have one drama after another. So it's not a case of they're looking for any kind of solution or solutions to their problems. They just want, it's like they're addicted to drama. They just want to get it out, and they just want someone to listen. Someone to often validate where they're at. So a big part of dealing with this is to say, I haven't got time to say no. And if someone finds it hard to do that, to draw the line, what they may find is that they feel uncomfortable with their own needs. So they could see their own needs as something shameful. So because they feel ashamed of their own needs, they can't say that's enough. They can't put their hand up in their mind or in the real world and say, oh, I can't do this anymore. Because if they do that, they feel ashamed and guilty, so they keep going along with it, and they basically run themselves into the ground. They can end up running on empty because they're not drawing the line. So in this case, someone like this needs to be able to say no to protect themselves. And they also, in order to do that, they need to feel comfortable with their own needs. And if someone finds themselves in these situations where they've constantly got people venting and dumping, emotional dumping can be one term for it, and they find it hard to draw the line and they neglect themselves, what it could show is that this is a carry-on from their early years. So perhaps they had a caregiver who saw them as an extension of themselves, and they were made to feel guilty and ashamed of their needs. And they were basically conditioned to be an extension of their caregivers or their caregiver. So they were taught from a young age to believe that their needs are not important and that other people's needs are more important than their own. So they might look as though they're selfless on the surface, and this can be seen as a good thing, but deep down they're someone that doesn't value themselves. So they were treated like a doormat when they were younger, and now they're being treated like a doormat as an adult. It's because this is going to feel safe. Deep down, they can feel comfortable with being treated badly, with being seen as someone who is just there to serve other people's needs. You know, intellectually, at a conscious level, this can be frustrating and they can resist it. But deep down, at an emotional level, this can be what feels safe. And it's because even though at the time this would have caused them to suffer, as time went by, their unconscious mind would have come to associate behaving in this way as familiar. And what is familiar is classed as what is safe. So it's a bit like there would have been resistance, and as time went by, there would have been an acceptance of this kind of behaviour. So as an adult, it's going to be vital for someone to look at what is going on within them, and if they need it, to reach out for the right support so they can gradually develop and embrace their own self-worth and to feel safe asserting themselves, because they don't deserve to be walked over. They don't deserve to be treated badly. But in order for this to be something they can completely accept emotionally, they may have to work through. They probably will have to work through their emotional wounds, and as they do this, then it'll be natural for them to draw the line. They won't need to worry about changing their behaviour, because this can just happen naturally, providing they do the inner work. And this, in order to do this, they may need to reach out for the support of a therapist or a healer, and this will allow them to live a life that is fulfilling and to take care of their own needs, because their needs are important.